the termite inspector have to keep a like an annual inspection for home insurance type deal, and they showed up like 2 hours early.
Oh.
Not too bad because we don't have any actual issues. It's just an annual, check the box, make sure stuff's good for uh, insurance, like I said, and yeah,
Hmm.
so it went real fast. So I'm happy with that.
Cool. No termites.
Yeah, no termite. You know what I do? Honestly, I use like the home defense regular like bug spray comes in the big thing with like the automatic sprayer wand from Home Depot or Lowe's, and I just do that like once a quarter. I
Okay.
spray the whole perimeter. We have a foundation, not a crawl space, so I spray the foundation itself, spray around the windows and walls, the garage door, and then I don't ever spray inside the house. The only like interior thing I spray is inside the garage perimeter itself, because it's easier for things to get in there. And yeah, man. Other than the occasional spider or something flying that gets in when the doors open, and we don't get anything. The cats take care of everything else.
Yeah. That's what they get paid for.
It is indeed, and I'll be honest with you, dude. I have no idea what we are going to talk about today on the Daily Cup of Genre, but here it is, ladies and gentlemen. 4 days in a row. I'm super excited. Welcome to the Daily COG here on the Genreverse Podcast, Genreverse Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts from, and of course on the Genreverse Podcast YouTube channel. So make sure you follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Sponsored by Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. A little bit more from them later in the episode. Make sure you check out lrmonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. I'm Kyle. That's Manny, and yeah, man, what's up?
Not much.
There were a few things kind of Star Wars ish, and I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on Star Wars for right now, but I was kind of just want to get your feel on things, man. I haven't gotten a chance to talk about Star Wars with you. Kind of how'd you feel about Kenobi, and what do you think about the next film being from most likely from Taika Waititi?
I enjoyed Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like it was great. Like it had some really cool um the Darth Vader Kenobi moments that I thought I would
Mm-hmm.
only be reading in comic books, because of a lot of kind of what I liked about Darth Vader had been recently what they had been doing in the Marvel books, is because you can there's a lot of times where you can see his kind of rage, a lot of his rage, but also his um inexperience in a sense, because
Mm-hmm.
when you let it take over you sometimes, and you're kind of younger and inexperienced, or just really focused on one thing, you lose. You're not gonna beat someone who's a lot more centered and in tone with his feelings. We saw it happen with Kenobi when he wasn't able to control that as well. So it was good. It was good. Was it as amazing as a lot of people are saying it was? I don't feel it was. I think my problem is I don't like prequels. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
things where I know what's
Know where it's
happening.
going.
Yeah, I know where it's gonna go. And so, and I honestly didn't care for Reva's character from the very beginning and then even towards the end. Just you could I felt like you could take her out. It'd be the same series.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you've been following the writer of the film that was going to, the what, because Kenobi was originally going to be a movie. As a matter
Right.
of fact, the
Mm-hmm.
guy that wrote it was going to do a trilogy of them, and apparently the Riva character, I haven't seen if it was her name as well, but the Riva character's been in since the beginning. Like that's one of the things that made it through his film idea to the turning that film into a series of scripts to the rewrites. I didn't know that, but I agree. They didn't use her quite right. If anything, they should have told us from the get go, or at least pretty early on, that she was after Vader, not that she's working from within, because you needed to develop that more in order for us to care.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is, and it's I like that angle, that we hadn't seen that angle of one of those kids surviving and wanting revenge. That's not the problem. I just didn't feel like I felt like for a while it was just that she was just another Empire crony, and
yeah,
and it didn't feel there wasn't really any weight to her character until almost the very end. And at that point I was kind of checked out a little bit. And then I think and you guys talked about it a lot on the Cantina and stuff, but from the first episode where the Inquisitor quote unquote dies, it was rolling my eyes, because it's like, all right, what are we doing here? Are we breaking canon, or is he just not dead? And it's like, well, what's really dead these days?
Yeah.
So when he came back in the end, I was like, not really surprised. So I think for me though, I was just a super sucker for Leia's character. That the little girl did amazing, and it was great to see something like that. So, and then just kind of those last few Easter eggs at the end were nice. And so just overall it was all right, but generally, I just haven't been necessarily too impressed by any of the Star Wars stuff. It really seems like it lacks depth, I think, and
Mando included.
Mando's kind of an exception, but it's because it doesn't necessarily follow anything from its own thing. I think that's what it is. And from the beginning, we were promised this new era, this new saga, and of characters, and we were going to move away from Skywalkers and everything. And no, this is what we're doing. We're going to stay there. I think that I was ready to move on, and apparently Disney isn't.
No.
Speaking of Star Wars, one of the things I had been following the last few days was their what do they call their Galactic Starcruiser?
Yes, the Starcruiser.
And how Disney was trying to figure out why they weren't selling, or why, and the internet, of course, being the internet in all its glory, responded with, I cannot understand why somebody wouldn't want to pay like $5,000
for that.
For that in this current economic climate.
Not only that, but the way I understand is the experience itself. Even if it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago economically, the experience itself doesn't seem to be worth the money, is what I gather as well, in addition to just the cost in general.
I mean, yeah, and because one of the things I noticed is like, hey, yeah, you're gonna look like you sleep in a Star Cruiser, right? And I thought, I was like, you're paying how much to sleep in a bunk bed? Basically, like it boggles my mind. It's just funny.
I think that and I said this before it even opened, when they were still during the pandemic, talking about their pre-orders and not pre-orders, what's the word, reservations. I was like, one day they're gonna have to open some of these experiences up to regular guests that aren't staying, like walk-through times where you walk through and you get to see the lightsaber training or something, because they're not going to be able to make enough money. There's not enough rooms. It's this closed off ecosystem for 48 hours. Like, that just doesn't that's not what that's not what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to go in and out of the park an hour early, an
Mm-hmm.
hour later. I want to get certain times where it's just us in the hotel that get access to certain things, and then I don't want to be stuck in on however you want to word it. All the immersion in the world is great. You're still stuck in that building, and you can't forget, you know, people liken it to cruise ships. It's like, yeah, but those go into port. And
Yeah.
they are bigger in general, often are, but yeah, man, that's rough, and they are trying to sell that thing. They made it the honeymoon destination of Han and Leia in the new
Yeah.
book that covers their courtship and marriage. Its name is the Halcyon, and they just canonized the EU character Val Halcyon, and his son, his uh, grandson, Karan Horn. Although they didn't give him the last name Horn, but it was the name Karan and his mother's name in the show. So I could see them even saying that this Halcyon is named after Val, the Valen, the former Jedi that went on the run. But I don't know if any of it's gonna work, man. It's not a good situation.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know. Go ahead.
well, overall, I think that you know how I felt or I feel about Disney and Star Wars, how they're just really squeezing it for every dime they can.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I do appreciate their, like, bringing the Millennium Falcon and things like that to fans,
Mm-hmm.
and other experiences that you never thought you were going to see or be able to touch or be a part of. But I just do feel that a lot of what they do is just, like in every company, is it's just to make money. And just, I mean, like the Boba Fett series, for example, carried really no weight for me. It was unnecessary. It could have been 2 episodes of the Mandalorian, because that thing didn't get interesting until you really added other characters that were established, like the Mandalorian, and even Baby Groot was in it. It's like, wait, okay, I thought we were
Grogu.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
You said
Grogu.
Groot.
It's too
same
early.
same thing.
It's too early.
It's the same thing. Both designed to sell toys.
Yeah,
They're adorable though. I'm
yeah,
not
and they do
complaining.
sell toys. I mean, it's I just, whatever. Just I
So let me ask you this then, since you're like me and you're, hey, you promised to get the hell away from
Mhm.
Skywalkers. Taika Waititi's movie. He's been talking about it. Says it's not connected to the legacy stuff. It's its own thing. And really, he says he's still working on it. However, it's not going to try to. It's not likely to film this year, and will not likely be released in 23. And if you remember, we were supposed to get another Star Wars movie originally in 21, and then they were like, no, December of, I think they were saying December of 22 or 23, we'll get one for sure, and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. I liked his episodes of Mando, man. How you feeling about Taika and his movie or
well,
potential movie?
I mean, he's writing it, so the things he's done have been great. So there's no reason for me to at the moment question what he does creatively. The only if here is that's how much creative freedom does he have with Star Wars, and just
Hopefully a lot.
so you'd think that they trust him a whole lot more now. So well, kind of just whatever he does, I'll definitely check out, whether it's Disney or whether it's one of his other movies that he's done that have been fantastic, and it's just it's part of it, as far as just let him do something different. Like if he comes out, it's like some dumb thing where he's like, yeah, this like damn, what's the name of the guy who's selling
The death sticks.
something.
Spice.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
I don't know his name, but yeah.
but he's done a really good job with what he's been given. So why not?
There was a an EU story for those that the uninitiated Star Wars expanded universe, the old novels and comics canon before the Dark Times, before the Mouse. There was this story about the people that helped find the hyperspace lanes. And I kind of thought high adventure. They were force sensitive. They didn't know they were. They're trailblazers out there, basically punching in codes, hoping for the best, and or coordinates, hoping for the best, and going off of feeling. I always thought some sort of high adventure, way offset, so far in the past. Star Wars thing could be really, really fun, and with his stuff with What We Do in the Shadows, things from Our Flag Means Death, as well as every movie he's made, from Jojo Rabbit to the Thor movies. You can really see where some sort of high adventure, loads of fun, no strings attached, like just play in this universe. That's what I kind of want from him, just complete, like you said, freedom. It's like, dude, you could do basically anything as long as you're not going to, change the fact Palpatine comes into power and Vader helps, create Luke and Leia. As long as you don't touch that, you're good. Have fun. 1,000 years in the past, 1,000 years in the future, something. Yeah, that's what Star Wars needs. Almost as much as we need this break, but we need it a little bit more because gotta pay the bills. Take it away, Grow Gen.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. From propagation to harvest, they have everything you need for your special garden. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
It's been a kind of like a lackluster week for news. I know, right? Grow Generation, thank you guys for sponsoring the episode. Please do check them out. Link down in the description box below. Dude, there's been a like we said, a dry week of films, but there was something I had also wanted to, I miss these like deeper dive geek talks that I don't get to do except on this show. You play games, right? You still do gaming sometimes?
Yeah. Right now I'm going through the Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing that. And I'm also playing currently the Jurassic World 2, the world building game. I always forget what it's called.
Evolution?
Yeah.
It's like Sim City, but with a dinosaur park, right? Or Sim theme park or whatever, but roller coaster tycoon, but dinosaurs.
Yeah, Jurassic World Evolution 2. Yeah, that's what I'm playing. So those are the ones currently that take up my time.
I've taken a lot of flack for being a kind of an anti-subscription service person. Are you using any of the sub services? Are you using Game Pass, or are you using PS Plus?
Yep, we use Game Pass at the house.
Okay. As someone that actively uses, I have PS Plus, but I had it from the previous, subscription, so you can use the online stuff. I'm not that's not my primary source of gaming at all. I'm lucky enough that right now I can afford the, what was it, like $50 a year or whatever it was. I don't, I point to things like the music industry suffering under streaming. Now artists have to tour way more, sell way more merch, do more pressings. You have bands that used to never do like VIP $150 ticket packages now doing that to make up for the difference in album sales. I've discussed streaming services going to ad based, and I mean, freaking hell, Amazon, even though you can skip them, Amazon still puts ads on their own stuff, and I pay Prime for Prime prices for that. And then you've got gaming coming up, and I keep telling people, you cannot get more for less money, and it's just like movies, when people are willing to wait, instead of 6 people paying $10 a pop to go see a movie in theaters, they're paying one subscription fee to all watch it in one house. That doesn't translate. You've recently had executives from Sony, like their studios, like not the game studios, and you've also had executives at Take-Two talking about how dangerous day one AAA titles on subscription services really are to the bottom line. And you see all these games getting these long ass delays, more and more, even than before pandemic and post the vaccines rolling out. Dude, like, how are you feeling about the subscription services for gaming? Do you think it's going to decline faster than music and other entertainment, or do you think they'll find a way to make it work?
They're going to find a way to make it work. New games, I don't ever think that they should belong on any type of service. But old games, on the other hand, yeah,
absolutely.
So like for example, for our Game Pass, I use it to play games like. I was very excited when on Game Pass a couple of months ago I saw Destroy All Humans.
Yes.
So I got the
remake.
Yeah.
Or the classic.
So I got to play it, and I didn't have to buy it. I almost bought it for my Switch actually because it's a classic game I really enjoy.
Yes,
I didn't have to because it's on Game Pass. There have been other games like that throughout the last couple of years where it's like, oh yeah, like I kind of want to check this out again. And sometimes it's games that aren't even necessarily you're buying new, that you could only really buy secondhand at a GameStop or at a local retro game shop. But yeah, as far as the new games and things like that, I am the kind of person who hates digital copies regardless.
Yeah.
So I need to have like my girlfriend, for example, bought me the Ezio collection for my Switch because she bought it for me digitally, and I was like, like I love it and I appreciate it, everything, but I want the hard copy. I want the damn case.
You don't want it to be taken away if they turn off the servers, or if they say we're not going to support this store anymore, or even you give up a subscription service and now everything you did have is gone. Yeah, having physical, a digital purchase is better than just subs, but physical, I agree. I love having physical media as much as possible.
Yeah, and then the problem with things like Game Pass and things like that is that you have to keep subscribing in order to keep playing. And at one point, you think about it, it's like, man, I paid for how long? I paid the same game on there forever. Like, I should have just bought the damn game. And so it's kind of annoying, and it's kind of convenient depending on how you use it. But I mean, if you're gonna give me a pick, I'm usually gonna go all physical. Just let me own the damn game, because that I don't know, that's just old. That's just the way you're supposed to do things. Not like, here, you can play this for a little while. I get it. There are some things that are subscription based and it's fine. Like I said, like to play older games that you necessarily can't find as easily, maybe. But in a lot of cases, you should be owning games and buying physical copies, because I don't even know how that would translate then, as far as like you were talking about a studio making money and being able to make a sequel or continuing down the line. It just doesn't work.
No, I pulled up. I was looking for the Take-Two exec, what he said, but I found the one from PlayStation first. Hiroki Totoki said, "Our current thinking is to have development costs and appropriate R&D and investment for quality products, and that will improve the platform and also improve the business on the long run. AAA type titles on PS5. If we distribute that on the subscription services, we may need to shrink the investment needed for that, and that will deteriorate the first party title quality, and that is our concern. That's something I've been saying. I've been saying that about movies. You and I used to talk about this all the time during the box office trying to come back last year and into this year. That, you know, if you support a movie, then you got to go see it, or at least buy it when it hits. Like buy the home video digitally or hard copy. If you can't do either of those, please, for the love of God, at least buy a freaking T-shirt from a licensed dealer, because it takes money to make things. And the one thing I always love is people saying, oh well, Microsoft can afford it. You guys understand that all of that money now from all these other studios that they've bought all goes into one giant pool to be shared amongst a bigger group of people. And you are basically asking the consumers to give you less money, and the consumer wants more stuff for that less money. It doesn't work, guys. And you can sit there and say all you want. Well, if Sony or Microsoft would cut pay, dude, they're not going to cut executives' pay. Yes, absolutely. So many companies could do much better with pricing, even though profit margins are tiny. I mean, oh my God, guys, some of these companies, Samsung a few years ago had a profit margin of about 2 cents. That's it. They were making 2 cents for every dollar that came in was profit. I mean, when you think about how big they are and how much stuff they sell, that's why it's still big numbers. But you're talking thin margins for a lot of companies out there. So that's not going to happen. In order to get top executive talent, you got to be willing to pay for it. So what happened? I'm one of those people that I like my games to have a decent life cycle. You know, I don't want to be playing the same game for 20 years for it to finally finish. You know what I'm saying? I want to play a game that I loved so much and it was complete 20 years ago. I want to still be playing it because it's that good. But I don't want these super long ass life cycles. I don't want gaming as a service, pay to win, loot box. All of that is how they continue to make money. Basically, take mobile gaming and make that all gaming. I don't want that, man. Ads. Sony's already talked about ads in games. It makes me think of Ready Player One every time that happens. And then, like I said, the loot boxes and the skins. And I mean, thank God crypto stuff is not, you know, as stable as many thought it was. And I always pointed out, what happens when the power fails? Like, all that crypto shit doesn't do you jack shit. And what happens when the government pulls the plug on internet? And I'm not just saying US, that's anywhere in the world. You know, if you really, I'm not saying don't invest in crypto stuff, but make sure you got a very diverse portfolio, including rare metals and crypto and traditional financial investments. And I'm not giving financial advice. That's just the way that I would do things if I had that type of money. But all of these things will, dude, I don't want that. Like, I don't even play that many mobile games that got like Yahtzee and a tower defense type game, you know, and then that's it. So because that experience is awful, and I don't want that on my PC and my PlayStation.
Nope. Yep. And then also, something you've mentioned before when it comes to those things is just the quality of game that you'll get when you have to stream it. Well, I mean, I guess it's different because like you download it on your system.
But that is another danger is companies selling the streaming service as comparable, and it's not. It's kind of like when ISPs are lying to you about what your real up and down speeds are to get you to purchase expensive equipment that you didn't need, you know. But yeah, that is another factor that gets into it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, it's just. I get it. Like, I mean, everything really goes in is streaming or whatever. So it makes sense that that's the direction that everyone wants to go toward. Doesn't make it right.
No, and like I keep telling people, I get what the customers want. I get it. I too would love to not pay for as much. Or not pay as much for the stuff that I'm already getting. However, I'm willing to pay what I pay in order to get quality product at a reasonable rate. You know, quality and quantity cost money, and you got to be willing, if you like these things, to pay for it. And yeah, old games, I agree. That's kind of why I kept the PlayStation Plus thing, or whichever one allowed you to get games now. I think it was PS Now. My son played all the Lego games on that from like the PS3 and stuff. Those don't really bother too much streaming, and I personally have set up my home network to fully take advantage of my gigabit speed, so we had less lag issues, and he's 8 and they're Lego games. But other games, old stuff, yeah, it's a great way to keep the life cycle going, and at least they're doing better than Nintendo had been doing, where you basically had to rebuy Super Mario Brothers on every system.
Oh,
even if you'd bought it on the Wii back in the day, or bought it on the DS back in the day, you would think you'd be able to carry that to different things, but no. Anyways, that seems like a good place to stop for the day, man. We got to just kind of chit chat, and that's some of the fun stuff here at the Daily Cup of Genre is. It's just geeky people talking geeky entertainment stuff, and you guys can find more of that on lrmonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions, interviews. Those go up on the LRM YouTube channel as well. Reviews, news articles, leaks and rumors, our take on those types of things. All sorts of great stuff here at the website. All of the podcasts for Genreverse go up on YouTube, as well as anywhere where you get your podcasts from. Google, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Great shows like Marvel Multiverse Mayhem, covering Miss Marvel. Hey, first disappointing episode this week. Not bad, just kind of disappointing. Slow, we'll say that. Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, does weekly news and usually has a movie or show review. Anime-versal reviews. Look for our Classroom of the Elite Season 1 review this week. And, of course, the Cantina doing weekly Star Wars news now that Kenobi is done and over with. And, of course, the Genre Shot trailer reactions on the YouTube channel. So hit subscribe, share, follow all of that good stuff. Yeah, you guys can find me at that Malone if you want to, on Twitter, if you want to do the Twitter thing. And yeah, Manny, what about you?
Do the Twitter thing. Yeah, you can find me at Manny Gomez Media on Twitter, and at riddlemethis_510 on Instagram.
All right, guys. Hopefully all things go well, and we'll see you tomorrow to close out the week. Bye.